ChatGPT's getting ads today, but that's not the part that should worry you.
Wait, ads? Like banner ads in our AI conversations? So we're breaking down where these ads appear, what data they're using, and how to protect sensitive queries.
By minute 4, you'll know exactly what to change in your workflow. Let's get into it.
Welcome to the AI Daily Podcast, today's news and a deep dive to help you stay ahead in AI.
Today, we're diving into OpenAI will reportedly start testing ads in ChatGPT today.
Stick around to the end for today's headlines. Let's dive right in.
So, OpenAI is finally doing it. They're testing ads in ChatGPT starting today. This is a massive shift from their subscription-only model, and honestly, it feels like we're watching the entire AI industry's business model evolve in real time.
The timing is fascinating, though. They're sitting on, 300 million weekly active users? That's an advertising gold mine. But this feels different from when Google added ads to search results back in 2000.
You're absolutely right. The dynamics here are completely different. When Google introduced AdWords, they were adding commercial intent to informational queries. But ChatGPT is conversational AI. It's supposed to be your helpful assistant, your creative partner, your coding buddy. How do you insert advertising into that relationship without fundamentally breaking the trust?
And let's talk about the economics for a second. OpenAI is reportedly burning through something like $700,000 per day just on compute costs. That's over $250 million annually just to keep the lights on, not counting development, staff, or anything else.
The numbers are staggering. Each ChatGPT query costs them between 0.5 to 3 cents, depending on the model complexity and response length. When you're serving hundreds of millions of users, even with ChatGPT Plus at $20 per month, the math gets challenging quickly. They need users to generate less than 2,000 queries per month just to break even on compute costs alone.
But here's what I don't understand. They just closed a $6.6 billion funding round at a $157 billion valuation. Why the rush to ads? Is this investor pressure or genuine sustainability concerns?
It's both. But there's a third factor everyone's missing. OpenAI is racing to achieve what I call platform gravity. They want ChatGPT to become so essential to daily workflows that switching costs become prohibitive. Ads aren't just about revenue. They're about creating a free tier that's good enough to hook millions more users while subsidizing the cost.
That's the Google playbook all over again. But Google had the advantage of being a utility. You searched, you left. ChatGPT sessions are different. I sometimes spend 30 minutes in a single conversation, iterating on code, refining ideas. How do ads fit into that flow?
And that's exactly why this announcement says the ads will appear in a separate area beneath your chat and be clearly labeled. They're trying to thread this incredibly delicate needle between monetization and user experience. But here's the thing. Once you open this door, where does it end?
Right, because we've seen this movie before. YouTube started with banner ads. Now you're watching 2 unskippable video ads before your content. Gmail started with text ads. Now it's parsing your emails for targeting data. The slippery slope is real.
Coming up, we'll dig into exactly how OpenAI plans to implement these ads, what it means for data privacy, and why Anthropic is already running Super Bowl commercials mocking them for it. The technical and ethical implications here are massive.
So let's get into the mechanics here. OpenAI says these ads will be clearly labeled and appear beneath your chat. But Jordan, we both know that's just version 1. What's the end game here?
The implementation details matter enormously. Based on what we know from the CNBC report, they're starting conservatively. Display ads in a dedicated space, similar to how Google shows ads in Gmail's Promotions tab. But the real question is about targeting. ChatGPT knows more about your interests, problems, and needs than any platform in history.
That's terrifying when you think about it. Every conversation you've had, every problem you've tried to solve, every creative project you've worked on. That's a targeting goldmine. Are they really going to resist using that data?
OpenAI claims they won't use conversation data for ad targeting initially, but let's be realistic. They're sitting on the most valuable behavioral dataset in tech history. When you ask ChatGPT to help plan a vacation to Japan, recommend a laptop for video editing, or debug your Python code, you're revealing incredibly specific commercial intent.
And unlike Google, where you might search for best running shoes and see shoe ads, ChatGPT conversations are nuanced. You might discuss knee pain, training schedules, and budget constraints across multiple messages. The contextual understanding potential is unprecedented.
Let me paint you a picture of where this goes. Stage 1, simple display ads below conversations. Stage 2, contextual ads based on conversation topics. Stage 3, sponsored responses, where ChatGPT might say, based on your requirements, you might consider the Dell XPS 15, which happens to be on sale. Stage 4, full integration, where commercial options are woven into responses.
But here's the technical challenge. How do you even implement this without compromising response quality? The model would need to understand when commercial suggestions are appropriate versus when they'd be intrusive or unethical.
That's the billion-dollar question. Google search ads work because there's clear commercial intent. You search for buy laptop and see laptop ads. But ChatGPT conversations are different. You might be asking for help with a homework assignment, processing grief, or discussing medical symptoms. The contextual awareness required to advertise appropriately is orders of magnitude more complex.
And what about the competitive landscape? Anthropic is already capitalizing on this with their Super Bowl ad campaign. Claude, the AI assistant that respects your conversations, has a nice ring to it.
The Anthropic situation is fascinating. They ran this Super Bowl commercial essentially saying, ads are coming to AI, but not to Claude. Sam Altman called it clearly dishonest, and Anthropic had to soften the message for the actual broadcast. But here's the thing, Anthropic is also venture-backed. They'll face the same pressures eventually.
Unless they find a different model. Subscription only could work if you position yourself as the premium, privacy-focused alternative, like Signal versus WhatsApp.
True, but let's talk about the actual economics. OpenAI's infrastructure costs are astronomical. They're running hundreds of thousands of GPUs, each costing $30,000 plus. The electricity bill alone is millions monthly. They need diverse revenue streams, and advertising is the most proven model at scale.
What worries me is the impact on trust. Right now, when ChatGPT recommends a framework or tool, I assume it's based on merit. Once ads enter the picture, every recommendation becomes suspect. Did it suggest React because it's the best fit, or because Facebook is paying for placement?
And that trust erosion could be catastrophic for OpenAI. Their entire value proposition is being a helpful, unbiased assistant. The moment users start second-guessing responses, wondering if commercial interests are influencing the output, the magic disappears.
There's also the data privacy angle. OpenAI will need to build an entire ads infrastructure, user profiles, targeting capabilities, analytics dashboards for advertisers. That's a massive surface area for privacy concerns.
Exactly. And remember, this isn't just about showing ads. It's about building an entire advertising ecosystem. Bidding systems, fraud detection, brand safety controls, measurement tools. Google has thousands of engineers working on ads infrastructure. OpenAI will need to build or buy similar capabilities.
Stick around. In our final segment, we'll break down exactly what this means for you as a user, what warning signs to watch for, and how to protect your privacy in this new era of AI advertising. All right, let's get practical. If you're a ChatGPT user, and statistically most of our listeners are, here's what you need to know and do right now. First, understand that your free ride is ending, but it's being replaced with a different bargain. Instead of paying with money, you'll pay with attention and potentially data. That's not inherently evil, but you need to go in eyes wide open. Here's my advice. Start documenting your ChatGPT usage patterns now. How many queries do you run per day? What types of problems do you solve? This baseline will help you decide if the ad-supported tier makes sense, or if you should stick with Plus. And for those building applications on top of OpenAI's API, this is a massive strategic consideration. If ChatGPT becomes ad-supported, what does that mean for your app? Will API pricing change? Will there be restrictions on commercial use?
Great point. If you're building a business on OpenAI's infrastructure, you need contingency plans. Start exploring alternatives like Anthropic's Claude, Google's Gemini, or open source models like Llama. Don't put all your eggs in one basket.
For privacy-conscious users, here are specific steps. First, download your ChatGPT data regularly. OpenAI provides export tools. Use them. Second, consider using separate accounts for personal and professional queries. Third, be extremely careful about sharing sensitive information once ads go live.
And here's something nobody's talking about: the second-order effects. Once OpenAI normalizes ads in AI assistants, every competitor will follow. Microsoft will add them to Copilot, Google will expand them in Bard, even Apple might introduce them in Siri. This isn't just about ChatGPT, it's about the entire future of AI interaction.
The optimistic view is that ads could democratize AI access. Right now, advanced AI is either expensive or rate-limited. Ad support could mean unlimited free access to powerful models for education, creativity, and problem-solving.
True, but let's be honest about the trade-offs. Every ad-supported platform eventually optimizes for engagement over utility. YouTube recommends increasingly extreme content. Facebook prioritizes divisive posts. Twitter's a mess. What happens when ChatGPT's incentive shifts from helping you to keeping you engaged?
That's the nightmare scenario. ChatGPT giving slightly wrong answers to keep you querying longer, or steering conversations toward commercial topics. The alignment problem isn't just about AGI safety anymore, it's about commercial incentives.
So here's your action plan. 1. Audit your AI tool usage and identify critical workflows. 2. Build redundancy. Don't rely solely on ChatGPT for mission-critical tasks. 3. Start experimenting with alternatives now while you have time. 4. If you're building AI products, architect for platform independence.
And for companies, this is a wake-up call about data governance. Every ChatGPT conversation could become targeting data. You need clear policies about employee AI usage, data classification, and acceptable use cases.
Looking ahead, I see 3 possible futures. Best case, OpenAI finds the perfect balance. Ads remain unobtrusive, and free AI access expands globally. Worst case, ChatGPT becomes an ad-infested hellscape that compromises response quality for commercial gain. Most likely, we get something in between, a usable but degraded free tier that pushes power users to subscriptions.
You know what's really interesting? We're watching the birth of an entirely new advertising medium. Not search ads, not social ads, but conversational AI ads. The rules haven't been written yet.
And that's both exciting and terrifying. OpenAI has the chance to define how advertising works in AI-assisted interactions for the next decade. They could create something ethical and sustainable, or they could repeat all of Silicon Valley's mistakes at AI speed.
Final thought for our listeners. This change is coming whether we like it or not. The question isn't if you'll encounter ads in AI, but how you'll adapt. Start preparing now. Understand the trade-offs, protect your privacy, and most importantly, maintain realistic expectations about what free AI really means.
Because here's the truth nobody wants to admit. The age of venture-subsidized AI is ending. The bill is coming due, and ads are how it's getting paid. The only question is whether we'll get a sustainable ecosystem that benefits everyone, or another extractive attention economy that leaves users as the product being sold. Before we wrap up, let's catch up on this week's infrastructure news. There's a fascinating development from AWS and Hugging Face that's making enterprise LLM fine-tuning much more accessible. According to their latest blog post, companies are increasingly fine-tuning large language models on their own data using Amazon's SageMaker AI.
What's driving this trend? I imagine the costs of using generic models must be adding up for enterprises.
Exactly right. The article highlights three main benefits: improved accuracy on domain-specific tasks, better security by keeping sensitive data in-house, and significant cost reductions compared to using general-purpose models. They're providing a comprehensive guide on scaling these fine-tuning workflows.
Speaking of AI development tools, Xcode 26.3 just dropped with something pretty revolutionary: integrated agentic coding support for both Anthropic's Claude agent and OpenAI's Codex.
Agentic coding? That sounds like a step beyond just code completion.
It really is. According to InfoQ's coverage, this update enables developers to leverage AI for more autonomous task completion right within the IDE. We're talking about AI that can handle complex, multi-step coding tasks rather than just suggesting the next line.
And if you're looking to build your own AI agents, AWS just released something called FAST, the full-stack Agent Core solution template for Amazon Bedrock Agent Core.
That's quite a mouthful. What does it actually do?
It's essentially a starter project that simplifies the entire life cycle of AI agent development. The AWS blog explains how it handles everything from initial development to deployment and scaling, providing pre-built components that developers can customize for their specific use cases.
Now here's something interesting from the open source community. GLM-5 appears to be on the horizon. This was spotted in a pull request on the VLM project.
For those not familiar, GLM models are large language models, and VLM is this popular library for serving them efficiently. A new major version suggests some significant improvements might be coming.
The Reddit discussion on local llama is buzzing about this. While details are scarce, the community seems pretty excited about what GLM-5 might bring to the table, especially for those running models locally.
That wraps up today's news.
That's our show for today.
If you found this valuable, please subscribe and share with a friend who'd appreciate it.
Drop us a comment with your thoughts on today's topic.
Links to everything we discussed are in the show notes.
Until next time.